Okay, so it seems like recently there's been some pretty big news in regards to Mint Fantome, and essentially a situation that has been kind of boiling over for the past couple of months or so, after something went down. Now, if you don't know, Mint has been, doing a lot of collabs and things and kind of getting involved in a lot of different kind of events and stuff, which has been great to see, including her own one, which we covered the jazz kind of thing that she is holding. But it seems like recently, Blue Archive, a gacha game, which you guys probably know about, especially if you have been in the VTubing space in the past couple of months, they pretty much announced a collaboration with her. Now, obviously, it seems like it's going to be a stream, like a sponsored stream or something like that. It seems like a Blue Archive live stream chat or something. They're saying Sensei CM Arki's live stream is coming sometime next week. Wait, who's that next to RC or Arki in the image? And obviously you can see that it's pretty clearly Mint Fantome. I mean, I don't think it is anybody else. I think it is very obvious, right? And many people have been very excited about this, right? But obviously, it all goes back to a previous situation, which guys, if you guys haven't seen, obviously VTubers have been not having the best time with Blue Archive. I would say, in terms of they had their sponsored stream actually cancelled after a lot of fan backlash. Now, I think the VTubers that are involved in this obviously were Zentreya and ironmouse, who, are very popular VTubers. They're some of the biggest in the EN space, right? And I don't think either of them really had anything to do with exactly why this was cancelled and why this was, ended up, going so badly for them, because there was a lot of backlash. There was a ton of backlash, but it was mainly to do with cdawgva, who obviously is also featuring on it, and his thoughts on, lolly type characters, which obviously feature quite heavily in Blue Archive. If you guys don't know, Blue Archive has a lot of those kind of characters. He's been very vocal about it, which, I mean, he's allowed to do, right? I think everybody can have their own opinion on it, but I do think it is a pretty bad idea from Blue Archive to essentially sponsor him, right? Especially whenever he's bashing some of the character types in their game, right? And of course, yeah, it just doesn't make sense to have someone who actively hates some of these styles in your game doing a sponsored stream. And yeah, I mean, it's fair enough, right? The fans were fair enough in saying that they didn't want this to happen. And of course, it turns out that they ended up just cancelling the entire stream, right? Or streams, with all of them having their streams cancelled, including ironmouse and Zentreya, who obviously were supposed to stream, as well, right? Zentreya, I think, and Gigok were doing it at different times, and then cdawgva and ironmouse were supposed to be collabing together. So it seems like those two ended up missing out on this sponsor, and they ended up making, some kind of, I think Zentreya made a response saying, she wasn't too bothered, it's fair enough and everything like that. There wasn't really anything big that came out of that. And obviously Blue Archive issued an apology and ended up cancelling it, right? But obviously now, this happened back in December. This happened almost 3 months ago, right? Over 3 months ago. And now we're 3 months forward and they're doing collaborations with VTubers again. But this time it is with Mint, who obviously is a lot more safer in terms of, her kind of, I guess, like not having any kind of opinions about some of these styles and stuff within Blue Archive. I don't know what her opinion is on lolly style characters or things like that. But again, it's if you don't know about it, then it's usually not that bad, right? It's usually not, they're not like outspoken about it, because cdawgva kind of had a big reputation for being a massive disliker of that, right? He's been known for that because he said it many times on his podcast, on his streams and stuff. And again, he's allowed to think that way, but of course, it's not very good to, partner up with Blue Archive if you are doing that. Now, obviously, people called him out for, partnering up with them, despite saying all of this kind of stuff. But I'm going to be real, at the end of the day, he was just kind of getting the bag. If I had a sponsor for it, I probably would take it too. But of course, I think it is up to Blue Archive to actually pick out who they're sponsoring a little bit better and do their research on who they are sponsoring, which I think they've done a lot more this time with them obviously collabing with Mint, which obviously is great. And obviously there's been a lot of reactions as well. People saying, wait, what? Saying, I wonder who that strange silhouette is. Obviously with the elephant behind the tree, like trying to hide, but you can just see it, right? I wonder who that might be. Like the most obvious silhouette ever. He's saying, oh my god, her dreams keep on coming true. Saying, OMG, no way. The way I just moved up my seat to double take Koharu, better watch out. Saying, guess this animal. Chelsea, yeah, I think it's the same thing, right? Acting like we can't see her, which I think is so funny. So yeah, a lot of people have been kind of talking about this. Obviously, some people trying to address me. I don't know what they mean by that, but again, they're saying, guess the animal type silhouette. Said, no way, this is a collab. So obviously she might not be able to control herself, and so yeah, it seems like, you know, Mint is a supporter of a Blue Archive and stuff like that. So it is great, right? And obviously they've done a little bit more research now, and I think that situation in the past has kind of, you know, taught them to do a little bit more research, right? A lot of people saying the craziest part of this announcement is that for the first time in her streaming career, Mint will be noticeably taller than her collab partner, which yeah, that's gonna be quite funny. You know, some people said, because if both hands up, because if both hands were up, it would be too obvious. Yeah, I guess, right. So Minto has the ability to do something really funny right now. I don't really use that word often, but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, people were saying, is that Samako Saba? Which, yeah, some people making jokes about it. Obviously, Rima saying, I can't for the life of me guess who this is. I wonder who it is. Oh my god, it's Doki Bird. Which I think is quite funny. The amount of people were like making fun of it. Like some people were drawing his stuff over the top as well, saying, oh my god, it's a different character, it's a different person, right? But yeah, obviously at the end of the day, we're just talking about the collaboration with Mint because it is very, very obvious who it is, right? And I do think, yeah, they have really turned it around since the original situation. Now, I don't think, you know, for example, ironmouse, zentreya, or Giguk even really deserved to be dropped from this collaboration. I think that, you know, the biggest issue that they had was with CDawg. Maybe ironmouse a little bit due to the fact of how much she interacts with him and stuff. Maybe some people were pretty mad about that too. But I think CDawg was the only one out of this group who's really had a strong opinion against lolly style characters and stuff like that, which of course has caused a lot of controversy among players. And yeah, that's whenever people were saying, you know, always remember no tourist, saying, why did they invite Connor, who hates the concept of this game? And these streets for Yuka, saying Connor was not a good pick. And obviously said, yeah, this particular moment of trash taste always sticks out to me. Obviously seeing Joey and Gant clearly being okay with a Seguri figure, who obviously is from, what was it called again? Oh, I forgot what is it Aramanga Sensei? Which obviously has, yeah, a kind of a young character in it, right? And obviously they were pretty stoked about it, but yeah, obviously CDawg was not so stoked about it. So obviously that kind of shows you in terms of like Gant's stance on things as well, because obviously he was also involved in this kind of collaboration as well. So I do think, you know, there are some different you know, opinions all around. And, you know, as I said, zentreya didn't seem to be too bothered about being taken away from it or anything like that. It was just one of those things that sometimes happens, right? And obviously, you know, I think she and some other people were under the impression of, if the fans don't want it, they don't want it. And obviously that is what's really going to happen, right, whenever it comes to deciding sponsors and things like that. But it seems like in terms of the Mint collab, I don't think I've seen a single negative comment in terms of like saying, you know, why is she here, what the hell kind of thing. It seems like everybody seems to be super positive about this collaboration, about this kind of, you know, sponsor, whatever you want to call it, right? Because again, you know, things are probably were a little bit shaky for the Blue Archive staff, right, whenever they were deciding on their next collab, and they're like, maybe we should introduce some kind of collaborations with streamers and VTubers again. They're probably like, well, the last time we did that one, it didn't go too well. So I think they've made the right pick here, at least this time. And it seems like people are much more excited to see Mint kind of collaborating with Blue Archive instead of the previous streamers that they had up a couple of months ago. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted to update you guys on this situation because I thought it was a very interesting one whenever it first dropped, right? And yeah, obviously it seems like there's been, you know, some developments and some changes behind the scenes with Blue Archive to make sure that, you know, they get the best that they possibly can. And yeah, I mean, that is essentially all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, good game subs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.